Hello there, everyone. Today we're going to do this. This is a small Czech nymph, so it's made on a jig hook with the tungsten bead, so it's ideally suited for fishing upstream. But this pattern also works very well in still water and fished as a regular wet fly. I got this pattern from a guy who visited me here in the showroom, who was actually on the British fly fishing national team. And he told me that this was one of the flies he had been fishing that was producing the most. Well, coming from him, then it's something that I really believe in. So we're gonna have one of these Czech jig hooks, and onto this we're gonna put a slotted tungsten bead, and you have to use this. So there is a slot here, and not a hole, but a slot in one side, and you have to put this slot over the hook first, like that. That's how you do that. And as you can see now, because the slot is in the head here, it will cover the eye unless we prevent it. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna take the hook and then attach it in an ankle, and then I'm gonna tie a bundle of tying thread just up here where the eye is, just making a head, and this is to prevent my tungsten bead from actually covering the eye. So about that, I'm just gonna look if that looks good. That works. Yes, that works very well. And then I'm gonna make a whip finish, and of course add some varnish if you like, here, like that. Then I'm gonna turn the hook down again, like so. And now we have attached the tungsten bead. I'm gonna cover the hook here with some tying thread to have a sound, a good and sound layer of tying thread to have the materials to latch onto. And then I'm gonna tie down the hook point. And for the hook point on this fly, I'm gonna use a small bundle of flashabou dubbing in chartreuse. You can use a lot of different stuff, but I find this is very nice because it has some shine to it, and also is quite easy to see in the water. So it's a good way of having a hook point, kind of like on the red tag, only this is green instead of red, like that. So I wanted it to be a bit bigger, so I just turned it over. And then, because this is too much, I'm gonna cut it off. So it's basically just a small bundle here. And it doesn't matter if it's all uniform in length. That's not something we need to concern ourselves with a lot. Then I want a bit more flash because this fly is excellent in more colored waters. So I take 3 strands of mirror flash, head-run mirror flash, and then I tie this down. This is going to be the ribbing, like so, and I'm going to cut that off. Then I'm going to take some Swiss CDC dubbing alpine fur, which is probably the most coarse, the coolest dubbing in the world for nymphs. It has a very large amount of coarser hairs, so it really makes your flies look shaggy and really just give them the look of something edible. And well, basically that's what we're going for. So this is not a specific imitation. It's just going to be something that trout will see and think, that looks like a meal. I'm gonna grab that one. So I'm gonna dub it onto the thread here, and then I'm gonna turn this so it's not as thick. It's not thick down towards the end of the hook, but then it's gradually, and as you can see how shaggy this really is, like so. And then as I move up towards the tungsten bead, I'm gonna make the body thicker and thicker, so it tapers. Bit more dubbing here. Really looks awesome with all those coarser hairs. the Swiss CDC makes some very, very unique products, and I'm very happy that we became a Swiss CDC dealer, because the instant I saw these materials, I wanted them for myself. I wanted them for my flies, and when you find materials like that, you better have it in the shop, because if I like it, then well, I'm pretty sure you will too. It's a bit hard to come by though, but it's difficult. It's a Swiss company, hence the name, which makes it with taxation and stuff like that a bit difficult. But the products are well worth it. Then I'm gonna turn my rib here, and it doesn't matter if you catch some of the hairs here. It's just gonna make your fly look even more shaggy, and you can brush a lot of this out with your dubbing needle anyway. So like that, about 4 turns is sufficient, I would say. Cut off the flesh. And I made a small space here where I didn't have any materials. And that's because I want to tie in a small CDC hackle. And CDC hackles are really nice because they catch a lot of air bubbles, small air bubbles, and really look like legs out in the water. That was what the guy I was talking about from the English fly fishing national team told me. So he uses these a lot, and this is one of his best producing flies, as I said. So it really is a proven pattern that he has used a lot, and with an enormous success. You have to be good at nymphing, otherwise you won't be on any national team. Then. All there's left to do is take a little more dubbing, apply that to the thread, so you have something to cover up the small gap up to the bead, and then turn the hackle, and the fly is basically done. Like that. And then I'm gonna turn the hackle here to make it look even more shaggy and even more. You do not want too many of these CDC feather strands standing out there. So about 2 or maybe 3 turns, something like that, should be sufficient. Like so. And as you can see, this really is just, there's a bit too much here, so I'm just gonna rip some of these off with my fingers, not my scissors, like so. Fold everything back, make a whip finish. And there you have it. Of course, I'm gonna take my dubbing brush here, and I'm gonna pull out some of these coarser hairs in order to really make this look edible. And as I was saying, this is a great nymph for fishing upstream, but it's also great for just fishing downstream, or for stillwater trout, and simply just retrieving in small strips, because this can really look like a lot of things. And I'm pretty sure that if you did not tie this on with a tungsten bead, but with a brass bead instead, it would also be great for even for sea trout on the coast of Denmark. So a nice, easy pattern that really produces a lot of fish, catches a lot of fish, and is fairly easy to tie and looks like food. Well, there you have it. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for watching.